awesome monsters, iconic characters, and cause of many childhood nightmares. What do they all have in common? Almost all of the actors behind a mask and a costume are either not known, known by a few, or unknown to many. Time to bring them back to spotlight they deserve. London, 1978. Bolaji Badejo, a 25 years old Nigerian graphic designer student, stood 6 feet 10 inches tall, a lanky silhouette towering over the crowd in West End pub in Soho. He wasn't chasing fame, he was just sipping a drink, minding his own business, a world away from his Lagos roots or his studies in Ethiopia and the US. But fate had other plans. Across the room, Peter Archer, a casting agent for Ridley Scott's sci-fi horror flick Alien, froze mid-sip. "That's him," he muttered to himself. Scott had been hunting for months basketball players, mime artists, even Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca himself, but no one fit the bill for the H.R. Giger's nightmarish Xenomorph. They needed impossible height, wiry limbs, a frame no human should have. And Bolaji, he was it. Archer approached, casual but direct. "Ever thought about movies?" Bolaji, mild-mannered and withdrawn, shrugged. Acting wasn't on his radar. Born in 1953 to a prominent Yoruba family, his dad ran the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation. He had chased art, not spotlights. But Archer saw past that. He called associate producer, Ivor Powell, found him in a bar, 6 feet 10 inches, thin as a reed, perfect. A meeting was set. The next day, Bolaji walked into Ridley Scott's office at Shepperton Studio. Scott, eyeing his long legs and Giacometti sculpture build, grinned. "You're an alien," he said. "No addition needed." As soon as he walked in, Ridley knew he found the right person. No acting chops, no training, just raw, otherworldly presence. The gig was not glamorous. 4 months in a latex suit, 250,000 worth of Giger's genius, meant Tai Chi lessons to nail the gliding menace, mime classes for the mantis-like poise. Bolaji rehearsed on the Nostromo set, dodging 6 feet 6 inches ceiling that scraped his 7 feet suit frame. "It's not every day you're asked in a bar to be in a film," he would laugh. Scott had considered a trio: mime, karate expert, stuntman, but Bolaji's proportions were unmatched. Stuntmen like Eddie Powell stepped in for acrobatic flips, but Bolaji owned the creature's appearance. Released in May 1979, Alien grossed $141 million, and Bolaji's Xenomorph, born from a pub chat, became horror's gold standard. Los Angeles, 1986. Kevin Peter Hall, a 7 foot 2 inches gentle giant from Pittsburgh, was no stranger to monster roles. Think Prophecy, Mutant Bear, or Without Warning Alien. At 31, he'd carved a niche in Hollywood Creatures Corner, blending his theatrical art degree from George Washington University with a basketball Hall frame. But that summer, he was not hunting roles until director John McTiernan, who was shooting Predator in Mexico, hit a wall. The film, $15 million sci-fi action bet starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, had started shooting with Jean-Claude Van Damme as the Hunter. Van Damme, a martial artist at 5 feet 9 inches, was cast for agility in a slick, bug-like suit designed by Bosch Film Studios. It flopped really hard. The red, insectoid rig looked laughable, and Van Damme, sweltering in 100-degree heat, clashed with the crew over its clunky feet. At 160 pounds, he couldn't tower over Arnie's 6 foot 2 inches 240-pound bulk or Carl Weathers' chiseled squat. 2 weeks in, McTiernan scrapped it, fired Van Damme, and halted production. Enter Stan Winston, the effect wizard tapped to redesign the beast. Winston's mandate: make it massive, menacing, alien. Bouncing ideas coming from James Cameron, he sketched a dreadlocked, mandible hunter, but needed a body to match, someone freakishly tall yet fluid. Casting director Jackie Birch had a light bulb moment. Kevin Peter Hall. She had seen him in Monster in the Closet, lumbering with a surprising grace. At 7 feet 2 and 220 pounds, lean but imposing, he dwarfed the cast naturally. McTiernan met him in LA, tested his moves and nodded. That's the Predator. No audition tape, no lines, just height and presence. We needed someone who could dominate physically, and Kevin was it. Hall hit the ground running. Back in Mexico, he donned Winston's 250,000 suit, 30 pounds of latex and animatronics, learning mime from coach Lauren Saldar to nail eerie stock. It isn't just size, Hall said in interview. I wanted him to feel alive, alien, but real. He would pop the head off between takes to breathe, but stayed in character, even improvising that head tilt tick fence adore. Released in June 1987, Predator raked in $98 million, and Hall's silent menace, capped by his unmasked cameo as the chopper pilot, became legend. Doc Jones is a master of bringing otherworldly creatures to life, often hiding beneath layers of prosthetics and costumes. Known for his 6 feet 3 inches lanky frame, mime skills, and contortionist background, he has carved a niche in Hollywood's go-to guy for non-human roles, especially in collaborations with Guillermo del Toro. Abe Sapien in Hellboy. Jones' breakout role as the psych fishman Abe Sapien made him a staple in Del Toro's universe. In the first film, his physical performance was dubbed by David Hyde Pierce, uncredited. But in the sequel, Jones voiced Abe too, duetting Can't Smile Without You with Ron Perlman's Hellboy. Hellboy earned a Saturn Award for Best Makeup and Golden Army snagged an Oscar nod. Jones' blue-scaled guilt look is iconic. Fans adore Abe's quirky charm, cementing this as the career-defining gig. The Fawn and Pale Man, Pan's Labyrinth. In Del Toro's Oscar-winning dark fantasy, Jones doubled up as the enigmatic fawn, guiding Ophelia with a cloven-footed strut, and the nightmarish Pale Man, a child-eating monster with eyes in its palms. He learned archaic Spanish for the fawn, dubbed by Pablo Adon, but his body language stole the show. The Pale Man's brief, terrifying scene became a horror legend. Google Trends spikes for Pale Man every Halloween. Amphibian Man, The Shape of Water. Jones' romantic lead in Del Toro's Best Picture winner turned heads. A mute janitor, Sally Hawkins, falls for his fishy-finned creature. Under a shimmering suit, he channeled longing through subtle gestures, earning Oscar buzz, though no acting nod. The film's $195 million haul and 4 Academy Awards, including Best Makeup, spotlighted Jones' knack for emoting sans words. This is his most celebrated role, blending beauty and beast. Saru, Star Trek Discovery. As the Officer Saru, Jones became a Star Trek icon over 7 years. With hoofs, ganglia, and threat-sensing twitch, he rose from science officer to captain, a franchise first for his species. Unlike many other roles, he kept his voice here, delivering depth to Saru's arc. Billy Butcherson, Hocus Pocus. Jones' zombie Billy, stitched lips and all, started as a bit part in the '93 Halloween classic, but grew into fan favorite. His goofy, grunting charm, despite one line, won hearts, and Disney's Plus 2022 sequel gave him a bigger role, revealing his background story with Winifred Sanderson. London, 1976. David Prowse, a 6'6" Bristol-born weightlifter turned actor, was pumping iron in a gym where George Lucas's galaxy came calling. At 41, he wasn't a household name, just a gentle giant with a thick West Country accent, known for bit parts like Bodyguard in Clockwork Orange, and a safety mascot, the Green Cross Code Man, on British TV. But his size, 280 pounds of muscle, and a neck for looming head caught eyes. Lucas, fresh off American Graffiti, was casting Star Wars in England, hunting a physical titan for his Sith Lord. Prowse's name bubbled up via a tip from a director, Stanley Kubrick's crew. The call came from casting director Irene Lamb. Prowse met Lucas at Elstree Studios, expecting nothing big. He had done odd jobs like Vampire Circus. Lucas laid out two options. I have got Chewbacca, a big furry ape, or Darth Vader, the ultimate villain. Prowse didn't blink. Darth Vader, he said. Everyone remembers the bad guy. No audition, no screen test, just a handshake. Lucas wanted height and menace. Prowse's 6'6" frame, honed from 3 British weightlifting titles, was perfect. He walked in and I knew, Lucas later told Star Wars Insider, David was Vader. The gig was not all glory. Prowse donned the 40-pound Vader suit, black leather, fiberglass, and a cape. He swung a lightsaber opposite Obi-Wan, grunting lines like, I've been waiting for you through the mask. But his Devon drawl, I find your lack of faith disturbing, didn't cut it. Lucas tapped James Earl Jones for the voice, dubbing over in post-production without telling Prowse, till previews. I was gutted, he would admit, but he owned the physicality, every stomp, every choke grip. Released in May 1977, Star Wars exploded, grossing $775 million, and Vader became a cultural titan. David played the role of Darth Vader for the entirety of the original Star Wars trilogy. Although David does not voice the character, he is the physical body. There have been many rumors about David's relationship with Star Wars. This feud resulted in David being banned from all official Star Wars events. A statement from George Lucas read, he has burned too many bridges. However, James Earl Jones, as the voice of Vader, claims Lucasfilm were too concerned with keeping Vader a character than letting David receive deserved credit. London, 1976. Peter Mayhew, a 31-year-old hospital porter from Barnes, stood 7 feet 3 inches tall, a quiet colossus hauling stretchers at King's College Hospital. Born in 1944 with Marfan syndrome, a condition stretching his frame, he wasn't chasing stardom. His only acting gig, a local paper snapped as Britain's tallest man, spotted by producer Albert Broccoli for a Minotaur cameo in Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. That photo changed everything when George Lucas, scouring England for Star Wars, needed a Wookiee. Lucas' team was desperate. At 7 feet 2, David Prowse had nabbed Darth Vader, but Chewbacca, Han Solo's Fury co-pilot, demanded height and heart. Casting director Irene Lamb got a tip from Broccoli's crew. There is this giant porter. Mayhew got the call, lumbered into Elstree Studios and met Lucas. I stood up, he'd recall, and George said, that's it. No lines, no audition, just a nod. At 7 feet 3 and 250 pounds, Mayhew towered naturally, his long arms and gentle vibe perfect for a 200-year-old warrior. He had the height but also kindness in his eyes. Prowse had picked Vader. Mayhew got Chewie by default and destiny. The suit was hell. 30 pounds of yak hair and mohair baked him in Tunisian desert shoots. Mayhew studied apes at London Zoo, nailing Chewbacca's loping gait and head tilts, growling through a mask. Filming kicked off in March '76. Mayhew's silent roar, later dubbed with the bear sound, brought the Wookiee alive. Released in May 1977, Star Wars ranked in 775 million, and Chewbacca's loyal growl made Mayhew a fan icon across 7 films, despite Nee Woo's sidelining him by The Force Awakens.